everyone. My name is Emily, if I've not had the chance to meet you, but I'm so excited to be here with you guys today, sharing a little devotional about one of my all-time favorite stories of the Bible. And I want to kind of share with you why, one of the many reasons why it's one of my all-time favorite stories. So, Lazarus was a guy in the New Testament that was dear friends with Jesus, but he had something happen to him that was a little bit different than normal. So, maybe you know this story already, but if you don't, I just kind of want to recap it for you a little bit. But it's all in John 11 if you want to go back and read it for yourself. But like I said, he's a dear friend of Jesus, but he was really sick. And so his sisters, Mary and Martha, came, they found Jesus, and they said, Jesus, he's really sick. We know if you come, you can heal him, but we need you. We need your power to heal him. Please come. And Jesus says to them, his sickness will not end in death. And they said, okay. And so they go back to be with him. And Jesus stays where he is, which is not near Lazarus, for another 2 days. Jesus is not really in a rush. So he stays there, and then he comes later. And when he comes, Lazarus has been dead for 4 days. And so Jesus arrives, and Martha runs out to meet him. And Martha says to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And like she's mourning, she's weeping. She's like, Jesus, if you had been here, he would be alive right now. And Jesus says, your brother will rise again. And she kind of brushes that off. She says, well, yes, I know he'll rise again in the last days when we all rise, but for right now, he's dead. And she's having a really hard time with this. And so then Jesus sends for Mary. Mary runs out to him. And Mary says the same thing. Mary's weeping, and she falls at Jesus' feet. And she says, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And so then it says this. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit, and he was troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. And Jesus wept. Now, Jesus all along had the plan to do what he does later on in the story, and that is to raise Lazarus from the dead. They are sad, they are mourning, they are hurt because their brother is dead, but Jesus had planned all along that it wouldn't stay that way. He wouldn't stay dead. When they first came to him, he said, don't worry, his sickness is not going to end in death. And then when he even came the second time, he says, he will rise again. Jesus had always planned on fixing their sorrows and fixing their struggles and their suffering. And yet, before he does any of that, he mourns with them. He weeps with them, and the empathy of Jesus to do that is just beautiful. That really shows Jesus' compassion, his heart, his love, that before he does what he came to do, which would end their suffering, he weeps with them. He says, I see you and I hurt with you. And he cries out with them, which is just beautiful. And so right now we're in this time where there's a lot of suffering. A lot of our brothers and sisters are hurting for a variety of reasons. And so I just want to encourage you to find out what empathy looks like in this season. Before we fix or justify or explain, when our brothers and sisters are hurting, what does it look like for us to weep with them? For us to mourn with them? For us to say, I see your suffering, I see your hurt, and I'm here, I'm with you. And to sit down and weep. To have that empathy of Jesus as we are continuing to learn how to better model our lives after Jesus. I want to remind you of this beautiful trait that we see here in this story, and to encourage you to, again, just find what empathy looks like in this season. It's been so good to be here with you guys. I hope to see you all soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.